Ms. Fairman, you are charged with the offense of interference with the duties of a public servant. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. Officers were dispatched to a family disturbance, and the caller, the defendant's mother, stated that her daughter was walking around with a hammer and identified her daughter by name and as wearing a Barbie sweatshirt. In transit to the scene, the officers observed the defendant's prior mugshot and arrived and observed the defendant recognized by description and that mugshot. The defendant walked towards the officer and the officers told her to stop, but she ignored them. She had her arms tucked into her sweatshirt, so they were not visible to the officers. The defendant attempted to walk past the officer and the officer grabbed her arm and she then laid on the ground and tucked her hands under her abdomen, and the officer struggled to get her arms out from under her. The defendant stated the defendant had a hammer in her left hand and would not let go. The officers then took her into custody.
What's she doing wrong? Was she walking while black? I mean, really, you tell me all she has is a hammer? She's walking around with a hammer. So I hammer stuff all the time.
Your Honor, just what we have is there was a family disturbance. There was a description of her with the hammer and she walked towards the officer and the officer just told her to stop.
I mean, there's nothing. She's not doing anything. No one says that she's doing anything menacing with the hammer. She's walking with a hammer. I hang stuff on my house all the time.
Furthermore, Your Honor, there is more in the DIMS that in the complete DIMS, it says the complainant's defendant's mother identified her and said that the defendant's brother had taken a blue speaker, which upset the defendant. So the defendant went outside and kicked some trash cans over her and pacing around a neighbor's vehicle holding a hammer. The complainant advised she was afraid of the defendant. So, yes, Judge.
I'm with you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to find no probable cause. Just hang tight with me for a second, okay?
Good, Judge.
Please. Just, yeah, take a seat with me. Hang tight, please.
All right, Judge, counsel's approaching on page 29. Martin, come on up.
Yes, good morning. Hi, counsel. Vic, what was the last name again?
Martin,
Martin.
on page 29.
Martin. That was a great show. John Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Martin, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the gun case, you were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. I'm sorry, what? Did I just say good?
I think it's Class A.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like reverse. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And on the gun case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. Okay. On January 28, 2025, officers were dispatched to a wreck on Mesa Drive in Surfside, Texas. The defendant was sitting in the driver's seat when officers arrived and admitted to losing control of the vehicle and driving into a drainage ditch. The defendant stated he took some hydrocodone shortly before the crash, and the officer observed red bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and unsteadiness on the defendant's feet. Standard field sobriety were performed. HGN, they found 6 out of 6, walk and turn, 5 out of 8, 1 leg stand, 2 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and the defendant consented to blood. The officer conducted a search and found in the vehicle a cooler with a beer in the back seat, a small bag of prescription pills prescribed to the defendant, hydrocodone, and a loaded Ruger SP-101 under the driver's seat within reach of the defendant.
I would just submit to the court, he's a retired veteran. It's my understanding he has a prescription for the hydrocodone for back issues.
Mr. Martin, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, then I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. You need to understand that even if you have a prescription for controlled substances, if you take too much, you become intoxicated. If you're in a car, it's a recipe for disaster. Just don't. Do you understand? Any prior DWIs?
No, Your Honor, and license is eligible.
Okay, you need to be very careful. Don't take it if you're going to go drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you pick up a new case, if you use it irresponsibly, I only have one place for you. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my community. Do you understand, Mr. Martin? Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Johnson. He'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you, you become a danger to my community, you pick up a new DWI, just, I'm gonna put you in jail. That's all I have. Do you understand? Okay. So for now, I'll have you go to Victoria. We're gonna have you sign a reset. After that, I'll get you to Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go. All right.
Judge, if I may just real briefly, got Arlington on the docket.
Okay, that way, sir. Please.
It's from October, Judge. It's just asking for one step. He's finishing until the tree.
I mean, it's only 115 days, right? Yeah, I mean, really.
Judge,
Hey,
I'm gonna put you on two matters.
okay.
First, I have a motion to withdraw for Kaylin Jackson.
Where is Kalen Jackson?
He's here today in court.
Okay, it's 150 days old. I mean, we're ready to set these things for trial now.
Well, he disappeared on me for a couple months. I talked to him. I mean, he lost his job, so he's unable to pay, but I did explain the offer that he has, which is a PTI offer, so I do think he can get his case wrapped up without me.
Well, he can't do it on his own, I mean, he can't. Kalen Jackson, come up. What do you do with yourself these days?
Right now, I'm working with my brand business to Intoxicated and DWI.
So you are working.
Yes, I'm partly.
Okay.
I just got it.
Your lawyer seems to be really upset with you. She wants to get off the case.
Sure.
It's time for you to work with your lawyer to work out a resolution. Do you work for free?
No,
Do you think she does?
no.
It's time to work things out. I mean, this case is 150 days old. You got to come a lot earlier. I get it that they go MIA, but you have also duty, have them come in, periodically so that you guys can get on the same page and I'm setting your case off for a week. You guys need to get together to make things work out. Do you understand? Okay. So there's an offer that has been made in this case. I'm going to let them relay it to you at the right time. It's a really good offer, but you guys need to be on the same page. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, take a seat for me, sir. So let's set it off a week. I'm going to have this print. He's going to have to come back. Let's see if things have worked out for you.
At that point, we could just do a regular reset.
No. But let's see if things can work out for you. If not, then we'll talk again.
Okay, I mean.
Okay? No. But let's turn it. Don't worry about it. But let's see if things work out, and then come back in a week and we'll see. Let me know if you guys are happy or not.
And then I'll also have Mr. Salazar. I received a bond violation report from him yesterday for failing to appear
Come up, Mr. Salazar.
on January 8th.
We have court orders for a reason. And when you don't follow court orders, we have to take drastic measures, and that usually means putting you in jail. You were called upon to take a test and you failed to go. If it ever happens again, I'm going to revoke your bond and put you in jail. Do you understand me? As it stands, I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test now. So we will give you a normal reset unless it's something dirty. Then I'm going to bring him back and we'll take different measures. But you ever get called upon to test and you fail to go, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Take a seat for me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guilty.
Ms. Bennett, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for one. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's going to be there, it's even there after you die. This is important because you ever get pulled over again, Officers, all they do is they look at your background, and if they see a lengthy background, it's just not going to go well for you. It doesn't matter if you're falling down, piss ass drunk. No, the mere smell of alcohol or dope, you will probably be looking at another DWI. What we're doing today, from now on, here in Harris County, you are facing, or in Texas, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand? No more proverbial slaps on the wrist. So if I were you, whatever you're going to do, don't get into a car, because it's a humongous liability that you're in, a risk that you're taking. You know, what Max is asking me to do is to take off around $3,500 worth of fines and fees. You know, the idea is that we all make mistakes, right? But you can't keep making mistakes where you endanger other people's lives. It's not fair. You know, when it's so easy to hit one damn button on your phone, for $30 to $40, you have a car waiting to take you anywhere you want to go in this. Do you understand?
Yeah, you said.
I want you to understand one more thing. It's unacceptable the way that you have been treating us here in court. You were ordered to get an interlock. You have not had an interlock since August. It's not.
Judge, she did have it installed. There was
If it's
There's
in
the money.
lockout,
I understand, and there was a
it's as,
issue with the money and all that, but yes, sir, we understand.
you don't wait. If
You
you,
communicated it with me, I didn't realize there was another option, Judge. And so I'm definitely taking the heat on that. So I came in
no,
to see if we could.
I'm not going to let you. You are old enough to know that if you're ordered to have an interlock and it's not functioning, you're going to upset a judge. Do you understand?
Judge,
It just,
I'm gonna have to speak on that one, okay? Because I definitely communicate.
Let me know.
I said, I've been employed my whole life. When this stuff started happening, especially with the stuff with the other situation that happened going on, I let him know that I can no longer afford it. I didn't know there was another option.
And I neither, I told her we need.
But- and I
since
have not-
August, she's been in lockout, Max.
I'm not drove, I have not drove, I Ubered everywhere I've been.
It's true.
I have.
And I helped her with that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
She has. She did. But it's.
So now I'm self-responsibility for it, and I just don't want you to think that I just deliberately disobeyed an order. I didn't have a choice, and I communicated it with him. I'm taking full responsibility. So for you to tell me that, oh yeah, I mean I am old enough.
If you
and I
see,
understand.
and the lawyer has been notified and still nothing is coming of it, you got to come to court. You know, when you have an interlock, it's supposed to be operational. And when it's not, that's a bond violation, and it's a continued one, you know?
I understand.
I'm
taking full responsibility.
preparing you for the future, you know?
Yes.
Hopefully there is none, but you can't keep it.
Also, before all of this and the federal thing, she'd never been in trouble before. So this has been like.
No, I have an assault from 2010. I've got an ag assault in 2009. I've got a gun case in 24, you know? So it's not our first rodeo.
Yeah, Judge.
It's not.
Okay.
And just,
She's like really upset about
the idea is we all make mistakes, like I told you, but don't make a mistake. I'm sorry. It's not a mistake. They're actions that you take, and you're old enough to know that actions have consequences, right? Especially when you're dealing with alcohol and a 3,000 to 5,000 pound missile that you're in. You could cause catastrophic injury, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
I understand.
All right. I am going to waive the fines and fees now, but you need to understand, on a second offense, it's a minimum of $6,000 in surcharges and fines and fees if you pick up another DWI. So when people continue to make actions where they endanger other people's lives, it gets extremely expensive, not to mention costly with jail time. You understand? All right. The agreement you've worked out is 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement today, you can never change your mind. You can't say, well, I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know this. Once you plead guilty, it stays like this forever. Do you understand? You still want to do this? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? I'm going to find you guilty. I will sentence you to it. I'm going to waive your costs, your fines and fees. There is a license suspension that is attached to this. I am going to suspend your license. I'm going to suspend it for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck, man. Thanks, Max. Please see the clerk.
I have two pleas.
Okay, you ready? I'm ready.
Yes, Green and
Jordan Green, come up.
Lonnie Anderson.
Okay, we'll do them both. Good morning, Mr. Green. Good morning, Mr. Amazon. It's Amison. Okay, Mr. Amison, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. And Mr. Green, you're also charged with driving while intoxicated and interference with the emergency request for assistance. I'm assuming that one's going to get dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then for Mr. Anderson, his unlawful carrying will be dismissed as well.
What about the weapon? What are we doing with the weapon? Is it being forfeited? Okay. Guys, both of you are charged with multiple cases. It looks like you've worked out an agreement whether you're pleading guilty to the DWIs, your other cases will go away. You need to understand that these cases will go on your record. They're going to be there for the rest of your life, even there after you die. This is important because when you get pulled over in the future, the first thing an officer does is they look at your record. If they see a prior DWI, they roll up to your window, they smell alcohol or dope, it's probably not going to go well for you. Do you understand? What we're doing today probably will never happen again because from now on, well, I know you're telling me that, but you are now facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You give up a lot of rights by entering into these agreements. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You guys give up the right to appeal. So once you plead guilty, there's no turning back. You can never change this. It will go on your record. It will be there forever. You still want to do this, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Amison, I'm going to find you both guilty. Sentence you to 15 days in jail, credit for 5. Mr. Amison, I'm going to send you 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend both of your licenses for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. There is also a $3,000 surcharge that usually attaches to these types of cases. We all make mistakes, but the idea is that you don't continue to make mistakes where you endanger other people's lives. A second DWI, you're looking at a $6,000 surcharge, not to mention court costs. So get ready. You pick up another DWI, it's going to cost you big. Do you understand? Take an Uber, one click, $40 wherever you want to go. Good luck, gentlemen.
But I was actually, are we able to waive the fees?
Well, that's what I was telling them. I'm going to waive it now because it's a first time. But if you continue to be boneheaded and pick up another DWI, it's going to be about $6,500 you're going to be walking out here. Do you understand? All right, guys, good luck.
One last thing. Also, the suspension, are we able to run it concurrent with their current suspension?
I don't know. Let me look, see how they've been on bond. If they've been good on bond, then we'll talk. But if they've been, I don't want to continue to reward.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
understand.
let's talk. Let me then down the line.
I
and
have
then we'll
one
talk.
last one.
Okay, take a seat for me, guys.
Gonzalez, just approaching her research. It is a little old, but she is going to do this. Yeah, I will have everything submitted, by.
Which Gonzalez? Chris, okay, it's 193 days old. Is she, obviously there's an accident and it's above a 0.15. What is it, Alex?
So yes, it looks like we have no mitigation packet yet for this because of
I'm
the
setting it 2 weeks. She's got to be here with packet in hand. If she doesn't have it done, then that's
It
it.
will be done before then.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
Here on a fugitive case, Mr. Kimball. Mr. Kimball wanted to talk to you about bond.
I'm happy to talk to him. Do you mind, please?
Yeah. Yes, she found something. Everybody's saying this is a fabulous job. Straight. Right. I should you know wasn't. And I'm gonna make a standard. They tell me why. So here, this in your point. Side by side.
I don't have an answer on the, but yeah, I'll look at that just, but, we look at that. Okay.
How are you, man?
I had Julian's office.
That's something?
We're gonna have a meeting, we'll get it. I see.
Okay.
So this, we get this.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Mr. Kimball.
How you doing?
Pretty good. So I've never met you before. I don't know who you are. All I know is that your lawyer is asking me to, I'm assuming, set him a bond, right? You know, you're wanted from somewhere. I don't know for what. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to set you bond. I got to get to know you in the short time that I have you here to see, are you a danger to my community? If we give you a bond, are you going to go back? I have no idea. So let's get to know him. Amy?
Judge, so he's wanted from Guadalupe County, New Mexico, aggravated battery against a household member with a deadly weapon. As the court knows, he's also being held in the 351st for credit and debit card abuse.
No, I had no idea. Say it.
And I believe they also just filed a motion to revoke his probation on fraud, use,
He's
possession.
on probation too.
Yes, and they're motioning to revoke as well. He also has 2 bond forfeitures that I'm seeing, and then he has quite a bit of history with burglaries and.
My gosh. Whoa. So since 2007, possession of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, evading arrest, possession of a controlled substance, felon in possession of a weapon, attempted evading arrest or detention, tampering or fabricating evidence, evading arrest and previous conviction, burglary of a building, possession of a controlled substance, burglary of motor vehicle, evading arrest, credit card abuse, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading credit card abuse, possession with intent to deliver. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more burglary of a motor vehicles, failure to ID, possession of a dangerous drug. You're on probation for a fraud. You pick up a new credit card abuse, and you want me to set you a bond?
Can I please tell you something? If you don't mind me speaking,
Don't talk about the case.
I'm not talking about no case.
Okay.
I was in here, been held on, the case for defendant violence in New Mexico, right? And they just got called ATW twice. They did not release me. I was not released. They sent me back to my cell. And since they didn't release me, they ended up putting a credit card abuse on me. Now, I don't know, where that falls in or whatever, they just put it on me.
So if I can give you a brief synopsis of the timeline, Judge.
Sure.
So January 15th, he waived extradition for his New Mexico case, which is why we have the fugitive. He also had a Dallas County hold at the same time, which means the Dallas.
Here's another.
It's true, but Dallas County had 10 days to pick him up. So they did not pick him up in those 10 days. So let's say January.
I know that. I get it.
Let's just say, okay, so they didn't release the whole, they should have released the whole 25th. They didn't. What they did is instead, 3 days later.
Talking the Dallas County hold.
Dallas County hold. So what should have happened is that on the 25th, they released the Dallas County hold, which at that moment, there was no locals or anything pending, and they should have started the timeline for New Mexico to come pick him up. But instead, Dallas did not release the hold until I believe the 29th, because conveniently, on the 28th, the DA's office filed 2B charges on a credit card abuse from a case that they had had since November. So just,
December. I see here, December 22nd, 2024.
I'm sorry, from December, you're right. So it just seemed like the timeline expired. And I believe Mr. Kimball's just really upset because if it should have worked like it should have worked, then, why didn't they release the hold in time? Why didn't the DA's office file it? It just seems like they're sort of dragging it along. I understand that he does not have a bond on his felony cases, and they did file the MRP. He has an attorney there who is going to be requesting to set a bond there. What Mr. Kimball is asking is a bond here, even though, and I said, he's going to be making the bond there in felony. So let's say his bonds get set in felony and his bond gets set here. He wants to bond out and go to New Mexico, address that case, and then he said he'll be back and forth. He's already got the MRP and the felony credit abuse case here. But he wants to be able to fight them in the free world and he is willing to go to New Mexico, turn himself in. I've been in contact with his mother. And I guess just because of that lapse in timeline, it's kind of like why we're here because, you know, and pardon,
Yes, ma'am.
if you have anything else to add, I think he just feels kind of screwed by the system on this. Is there anything else, Mr. Kimball, that I missed?
Now, did she send the video to your phone? Oh, all right.
In 2023 alone, Mr. Kimmel, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In one of the misdemeanor cases, you have presumably a bond at 5,010, which tells me that you've taken off on that case as well.
I
You're on
never ran
probation.
a
You had a hold out of Dallas for, what did he have a hold out of Dallas for?
violation.
Out of Dallas?
You're hopscotching with the states with the criminality,
No,
man.
I got
can't.
on, look, I had all the cases together and they gave me probation in Houston and Dallas. See, that's what you don't know. They dismissed a bunch of them cases has been dismissed. And I've been to trial twice. A bunch of them cases has been expunged on that record right there that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me probation in Dallas and Houston. Dallas supposed to transfer my probation to Houston. They did not transfer my probation to Houston. That's how I get a violation in Dallas. I never violated by kissing any new case. The only time I caught a case is when for the New Mexico, say something happened in a family violence 2024. I never even been to New Mexico. The girl wrote a statement on me saying that I violated whatever. I understand. I know I don't supposed to tell you nothing, but I got videos. She's saying everything that she said is a lie. I don't even supposed to be having the case for new. I wasn't even supposed to come to jail for that case. She has the videos in her phone. She can show you. She's showing her ID, everything, making a whole statement saying that everything that she said to me in New Mexico is a lie, bro. I'm just dry getting hold for this case.
We really,
I understand it.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. I understand it.
It seems to me,
Yes, sir.
you get out, you pick up a new case. You were out, you just picked up a new credit card abuse 2 weeks ago. December 22nd, I mean, maybe 3 weeks ago, you just picked up another case. You're on probation in Houston, you're on probation in Dallas,
Sir.
you got an open case in New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I can't possibly give you a bond, Mr. Kimball. You know, I think that I need to protect my community. And if I give you a bond, I'm scared that something else is going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 6th or 7th case, you know?
I ain't pick up a case. I came to jail for a case a year ago for New Mexico. I was already
Just
on probation.
picked up.
No, they just put
Credit
a
card.
case on me while I was in
Nah.
custody. I didn't never get caught for anything. They just put a case on me while I've been in custody right now. This time waiting on New Mexico and Dallas to come get me. They just put this case on me. They just put this on me.
I want to make sure that there are no more new cases get on you anymore. I'm not going to give you a bond because, Mr. Kimball, you scare me. You know, you do.
I never had an aggravated case. I never had an aggravated case in my life. You see my record. I never had an aggravated case.
I don't see, the only thing I see
I'm
is
saying
Harris.
everything you're saying. I never had an aggravated case out of Harris County, Dallas, anywhere in Texas, ever. Ever.
I believe you, but it's just way too much baggage, dude. Way too much.
But I'm saying you can't just set a bond on the case. And when I go to court, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my other judge. She give me a bond on them cases or whatever, where I can go handle everything that I need to handle so I can get out and be with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, so say if they do set the bond when I go to court, because he's going to give me a court date in like a week or two. I'm going to go to court. They're going to set a bond for me. So they set a bond. Now I got to come back to your courtroom again for you to say, oh, well, I'm not going to give you a bond or whatever. They got 14 days to come get me. When actually I really supposed to already been gone to either Dallas or New Mexico because they called me ATW twice and they said they was not going to come get me. And we called to New Mexico. New Mexico said they didn't have any knowledge of me even being in jail on their warrant.
Is New Mexico, have they stated that they're going to come get him?
Our indication at this time is that they want him, Judge.
Okay, they're going to come get you. You know, the problem is that 14 days is told because you've not made bond on those cases upstairs. Once you do make bond at that point, that will get the 14 days for New Mexico to come get you. But Mr. Kimball, you've got a ton of priors. You're on probation in two different counties. You got to keep, okay, regardless, it's too much baggage. I'm not going to give you a bond. You scare me, dude. That's it. Really. You know, sometimes the bill comes due. Now is that time. It's not going to happen anymore. Okay, thanks. Hey, ready? Hi.
Approaching on an off-talk